I think first off, both men and women, they have the right to reject anyone for any reason, right? So if everyone is entitled to their preferences, whether those preferences are realistic, certainly that's another topic. But and I think it's common sense also. Like, women, y'all are far pickier than men are.
Yeah.
But I think one thing
there
that guys do care about is a woman's sexual history, her past.
Please explain why you think that.
I'll get there. And so, but men, honestly, a lot of men don't have any standards. But the few things we do care about as men, we care about them a lot. And one of those is previous history, sexual
Does
history.
it make you insecure? Because there may have been men before you that were better?
It's not about insecurity. It's not about being insecure. It's just about, and I think Andrew Tate said this in the rest of that clip, it's about picking the best possible solution, or the best possible choice.
Yeah, so a child.
It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be, I mean, we'll get into the age thing down the road, but let's stick to just the body count for now. But, I mean, look, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's fair or unfair, the reality is that men value sexual purity in women.
Why? Once again.
So, I'm getting there. And like, so conversely, like, so men are innately, there's an evolutionary biological reason. That's one of the reasons. Men are disgusted. Not all men, some men don't care, but they're disgusted by female promiscuity. And I think women, but by male promiscuity, you mean?
Yeah, but that has nothing
to
do with...
I think that's fine.
But body
I think
count
it's totally reasonable for a girl to be like, that guy, he slept with 100 women.
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with rejecting people or not getting with people for your own reasons. Everybody has a right. But my point is how does a girl's or anyone... I just sound like Kermit the Frog. How does anyone's past sexual history has anything to do with who they are today? Like, if you're with a 40-year-old woman, her body count... Or actually, I'm a perfect example. I haven't had things in, January, like 7 months, yet I don't have a one-person body count. Why should that describe who I am today as a person?
Yeah. If anything, it just makes her better in bed if she has a higher body count.
That is true.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
You would never know, Brian.
Here's the scenario. Here's the scenario,
okay.
Right?
I'm ready
a
for
girl who's had, like, say, one previous sexual partner, but it was a long-term relationship. She was with him for 3 years, and they had sex 4 times a week, versus a girl who just never had a long-term relationship, but hooked up with 20, 30 guys.
And is a pillow princess for every one of those guys.
So, I mean, I would actually say that the girl who's only slept with one guy, but it was a 3-year relationship, she's probably going to be better in bed than the girl who's just had a bunch of one-night stands.
Agreed.
And,
also,
and similar,
just because there was a relationship doesn't mean it was one-night stand.
Well, even if it's shorter term, if honestly, like, unless you're really balling out, most people, both men and women, are not going to be able to get sex consistently enough outside of a committed relationship. I could be wrong. Generally speaking, there's a fly harassing us.
Yeah, no,
but I think it applies to men too. Like a guy who's been in a long-term relationship with one girl, and they've just, been together 1, 2, 3 years, and they just have sex a couple times a week or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's going to be better in bed most likely than a guy who's just had a bunch of one-night stands, just trying to run through a bunch of girls, doesn't call them back, just hooks up with them once, and then that's it.
Agreed.
So the sexual performance argument, I think,
I get in general.
Yeah, in general.
Like, I get the stereotypical answer right there is like, woman who's had more sexual partners is better in bed. But the relationship aspect is definitely true. But I know for a fact, like, my first relationship, the guy who took my virginity, it was 10 months of horrible sex. So, like, it's not necessarily true for that aspect. But I do get what you're saying.
I mean, it's not a guarantee.
Right. I wish
it's not a guarantee.
I get what you're saying, but when it comes to like guys or Andrew Tate not wanting a girl who does have a body count over like 2, I guess, or even 1, wouldn't that be worse if they have a body count of 1 and they've been in a 3-year relationship? Because wouldn't that mean that they're probably like there's a really big X issue there? You know, like wouldn't that be like I would rather have a guy with like 100 count body count and that was his past and whatever, and he loves me now, than a guy who was in a relationship with someone for like 3 years.
So you would rather date a guy who's slept with 100 other women, but he's had no emotional connection in the past, versus a guy who's had one relationship and he had a very strong emotional connection with her.
Oh, okay, that's hard.
But to be fair, let's say he's, it's a couple 6 months post breakup. He's moved on. He's.
No, I think that I can't even answer that question because of how unrealistic it is.
Nobody has. Aren't there some UCSB guys you guys were saying?
Well, there's everyone. We're in college.
Right.
But I'm not going to judge a guy in 10 years for the shit he did in college. Like, depending on what it is,
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to
how many girls you fucked.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if I was getting with a guy and he said that he got with like 30 girls, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, that means you're probably pretty good in bed. Great. And with that being said, the reason I think that question is so unrealistic is because just because you've never had like a full long-term relationship doesn't mean that every time you've ever done anything with someone was just a complete one-night stand. There's nothing wrong with like summer flings. It also completely depends on the person and how you define things. Like I wouldn't define summer flings as my boyfriend. I'd be like, that was someone that I liked for a long time and we had fun and we were on the same page and it was great.
Got it. Aline, did you want to come in with something?
Yeah. I just agree that that it's okay to like consider body counts, even though like a lot of people lie about their body counts anyways. So I don't even think that it's that important. However, if I were to know the truth, it could deter me a little. But going back to what Andrew Tate was talking about, I genuinely don't think that he's justifying a woman's body count to dating 19-year-old girls. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Were you reading the comments?
But still.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I've been saying that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he just likes younger women because they're more attractive to him.
Okay. Marcy, what do you any takes on anything?